The next classification of signals that we are looking at is real and complex signals. So, what is a real signal and what is a complex signal? A real signal is a signal which always takes real values. Real values like 2, 3, 2.3, 4.5, real values. Whereas a complex signal is a signal which always takes on complex values such as 2 plus 3j, 4 plus 5j, 1 plus root 2j, or simply 5j, 10j. So these are all complex signals. An example of real signal can be if I write x of 3 is equal to e raised to minus 3t. Then this is a real signal because the exponential will always take real values. Whereas an example of complex signal can be written as e raised to minus j3t. As you all know, e raised to minus j3t can be written as cos 3t minus j sin 3t. Therefore, this is an example of real signal, and this is an example of complex signal. I hope this is very clear to you. Next classification we go to is even signal and odd signals. Even signal and odd signals. Right? Before learning this even and odd classification, I would recommend you to watch the video titled Time Operations on Signal. Why I am asking you to look at time operations on signal is because we will be using one of the time operation, that is time reversal. If you already know time reversal, then there is no need to look at the time operation on signals video. If you do not know time reversal, then I would recommend you to first go through a video titled Time Operations on Signal and then come back to even and odd. So, before we begin with even and odd classification, it is very important to understand that this even and odd is applicable. This even and odd classification is applicable only to real signals. That is signals which take only real values. If a signal is complex, you cannot classify it as even or odd. So the first condition to talk about even and odd is that the signal has to be real. Only if a signal is real, you can classify it as even or odd signal. Now, what is the definition of an even signal? A signal is said to be even if x of t is equal to x of minus t. That is, a signal is said to be even if the original signal x of t is equal to its time reversed version, which is x of minus t. A signal is said to be odd signal if x of t is equal to minus x of minus t. That is, a signal is said to be odd if the original signal x of t is equal to its time reversed version multiplied by minus 1. X of minus t is the time reversed version of the signal. If you are not aware of the time reversed version of the signal, I would again recommend you to go through our video titled Time Operations on Signal and then come back to this point. An example of even signal is, suppose we have a rectangular pulse from minus 2 to plus 2 with amplitude 1, then this is an example of even signal. An easier way to identify even signals is that the even signals are always symmetrical about the y-axis. Odd signal. An example of odd signal can be from 0 to 2, the amplitude is 1, and from 0 to minus 2, the amplitude is minus 1. This is an example of odd signals. Always remember that odd signals are symmetrical about the origin. Even signals are symmetrical about the y-axis. Let us take another example. If we draw a signal like this, which is from -5 to +5, let us say that the amplitude is 2. Then, as you will correctly identify, such a signal is an even signal. Similarly, if I draw a signal which is from +5, the amplitude is +2, -5, the amplitude is -2. As you will correctly observe, such a signal is an odd signal. So a signal can be categorized as an even signal, or a signal can be categorized as odd signal. Another example is, if I say 0 to 5 and the amplitude is 2. Now if you look at this signal is neither even nor odd. So we will categorize such signals as neither even nor odd. We will categorize such signals as neither even nor odd. So always remember, a signal can be categorized as an even signal, or an odd signal, or a neither even nor odd signal. These neither even nor odd signal are important to us, and we will discuss a concept about these signals. If a signal x of t is neither even nor odd, then such a signal x of t can be broken down into two parts. The first part, which is called as x1 of t, is the even part, and the second part, x odd of t, is the odd part. So any signal which is neither even nor odd can be broken down into two parts: an even part, which is denoted by x1 of t, and odd part, which is denoted by x odd of t. And addition of even part and odd part will give me a original signal which is x of t. This signal x of t will neither be even or odd. I would explain this through an example. And observe, this signal x of t is neither even nor odd. It is not even because it is not symmetrical about the y-axis. Similarly, it is not odd since it is not symmetrical about origin. So such a signal is neither even nor odd. Such neither even nor odd signal can be divided into two parts: an even part and odd part. How do we divide it into even part and odd part? So to divide it into even part and odd part, first we have to draw the time reverse version of the signal, which is x of minus t. So x of minus t in this case will be 0 to 2 minus 5. This is time reversed version of the signal. Then to find even part, we add x of t with x of minus t. So x of t plus x of minus t. So we are adding first signal with the second signal. This will be from -5 to +5. The amplitude is 2. If you observe, this signal is like a even signal. But to find even part, we have to divide the amplitude by 2. So x of t plus x of minus t by 2 becomes the x even of t, which is the even signal. So how do we draw the even signal? So this is from -5 to +5. Since we are dividing it by 2, the amplitude gets divided by 2. So if amplitude is divided by 2, the amplitude is 1. And this signal is said to be even part of the given original signal. Similarly, we can find the odd part. To find the odd part, we add x of t with minus x of minus t. Now as you can observe here, we have to multiply x of minus t with minus 1. If you multiply x of minus t with minus 1, plus 2 would become minus 2. So if you draw this will be plus 5, the amplitude is plus 2. This will be minus 5, amplitude is minus 2. Why you get the amplitude as minus 2 is because x of minus t is multiplied here by minus 1. So plus 2 would become minus 2. Now to find odd part, we have to divide by 2. So this is odd part of the signal x of t. So x of t, this is 5, the amplitude is 1. The amplitude is 1 because now we have divided by 2. So the amplitude 2 divided by 2 becomes 1. Whereas this is minus 5 to minus 1. And this is odd part of the given signal x of t. So this is how, if you get a signal which is neither even nor odd, you can divide it into two parts, a even part and a odd part, x even of t, x odd of t. Sometimes in the exam they will give you a signal which is neither even nor odd, and they will ask you to find its even part, or they will ask you to find its odd part. Thus, to summarize, if we have a signal which is neither even nor odd, we can divide it into two parts, the even part and the odd part. The even part can be calculated by the formula x of t plus x of minus t by 2, whereas odd part can be calculated by the formula x of t minus x of minus t by 2. So we have looked at three things. One is an even signal, one is an odd signal, and one is a neither even nor odd signal. What will happen if you add even signal with even signal? If you add an even signal with an even signal, you get an even signal. So the meaning of even plus even is that even signal added to another even signal will give you an even signal. Similarly, an odd signal added with an odd signal will always give you an odd signal. An even signal added with an odd signal will give you a signal which is neither even nor odd. Just to summarize, addition of two even signals will give even signal, addition of two odd signals will give odd signal, addition of even signal with odd signal will give you a signal which is neither even nor odd. Then multiplication of even signal with even signal will give you an even signal. Multiplication an odd signal with an odd signal will give you even signal. And multiplication of even signal with odd signal will give you an odd signal. Sometimes oral question can be asked based on this. Similarly, if you integrate an even signal, you will get an odd signal. If you integrate an odd signal, you will get an even signal. If you differentiate an even signal, you will get an odd signal. If you differentiate an odd signal, you will get an even signal. The even and odd signals can also be solved analytically. I would take three examples here, and for each examples we will try to find out whether it is an even signal, whether it is an odd signal, or whether it is a neither even nor odd signal. So first is x of t is equal to cos t. We would find x of minus t. X of minus t is cos of minus t. But what is cos of minus theta? Cos of minus theta is cos theta. Therefore, if you observe from equation 1 and equation 2, we can say that x of t is equal to x of minus t. And if x of t is equal to x of minus t, we can conclude that this is an even signal. Similarly, if you look at second question, x of t is equal to sin t. We would find out x of minus t, which is sin of minus t. Now, so sin of minus theta is minus sine theta. So from 1 and 2, what you can observe is x of t is equal to minus x of minus t, and hence we can categorize this as an odd signal. So what we learn from this is that cosine or cos is an even signal, sine is an odd signal. Like this you can always solve to find out whether the signal is even or odd. Third is x of t cos t plus sin t, x of minus t is cos of minus t plus sin of minus t. So x of minus t will come out to be, this is cos t minus sin t. From 1 and 2 we can clearly observe that x of t is not equal to x of minus t. So it is not even, and we can also observe that x of t cannot be equal to minus x of minus t. So it cannot be even, it cannot be odd. So hence we say this signal is neither even nor odd. Let us take another example. Let us take the fourth example as x of t is equal to t square. So x of minus t will be equal to minus of t square, and minus of t square will give me t square. So we get x of t is equal to x of minus t, and we can say that this signal is an even signal. Therefore cosine, as we have already found out, is even signal. Similarly t square is an even signal. One question that I would like you all to try is x of t is equal to t. And as you can simply and orally figure out that x of t is equal to t is nothing but an odd signal. Like this you can find out whether the signal is even or odd or neither even nor odd using analytical method. Next classification we go to is conjugate symmetric and conjugate antisymmetric signals. Conjugate symmetric and conjugate antisymmetric are very similar to even and odd signals that we have already discussed. Now conjugate antisymmetric is like the even signal, conjugate antisymmetric is like the odd signal. But as you remember, even and odd signals are applicable to only real signals, whereas conjugate symmetric and conjugate antisymmetric classification is applicable only to complex signals. Conjugate symmetric and conjugate antisymmetric classification is applicable only for complex signals. You cannot apply this to real signals. So even odd was applicable only for real signals. Very similarly, conjugate symmetric and conjugate antisymmetric is applicable only to complex signals. Now, how do we define conjugate symmetric? So if x of t is equal to x star of minus t, then this is called as conjugate symmetric. This is called as conjugate symmetric. Star here denotes the complex conjugate. Similarly, if x of t is equal to minus x star of minus t, then this is called as conjugate. Then this is called as conjugate anti-symmetric. Then this is called as conjugate anti-symmetric. Again, star here denotes the complex conjugate. Very similar to what we have discussed in even odd. You can have a signal x of t which is neither conjugate symmetric nor conjugate antisymmetric. If you have a such signal which is neither conjugate symmetric nor conjugate antisymmetric, you can divide it into two parts. You can divide it into x cs of t, which is the conjugate symmetric part, and then you can divide it into XCAS of t, which is the conjugate antisymmetric part. So XCS of t is the conjugate symmetric part and XCS is equal to the conjugate antisymmetric part of the signal, and this conjugate symmetric and conjugate antisymmetric parts can be written as CS of t. CS of t is given by conjugate symmetric part is calculated as x of t plus x star of t divided by 2, x star of t, x of t plus x star of minus t divided by 2, and the conjugate antisymmetric part is calculated as x of t minus x star of minus t divided by 2. Therefore, just to summarize, the conjugate symmetric and conjugate antisymmetric is applicable only to complex signals. Conjugate symmetric is defined as x of t is equal to x star of minus t, where star represents the complex conjugate. X of t is equal to minus x star of minus t is called as conjugate antisymmetric. A signal can be conjugate symmetric or conjugate antisymmetric, or it can be neither conjugate symmetric nor conjugate antisymmetric. If you have a signal which is neither symmetric nor antisymmetric, you can divide it into two parts. One is the symmetric part, other is the antisymmetric part. The conjugate symmetric part can be calculated as x of t plus x star of minus t divided by 2, whereas the conjugate antisymmetric part can be calculated as x of t minus x star of minus t divided by 2. Let us take an example to determine whether the signal is conjugate symmetric or conjugate antisymmetric. So, if I have an example, let us say x of t is equal to t into e raised to minus j omega t. Suppose this is the signal and we want to find whether it is conjugate symmetric or antisymmetric or neither of them. We start with x of minus t. So x of minus t will be minus t e raised to minus j omega minus t. So what is x of minus t? It is minus t into e raised to j omega t. Then we calculate x star of minus t. As I already told you, star is the complex conjugate. So x of minus t is minus j omega t. From 1 and 2, we can conclude that x of t is equal to minus x star of minus t, and hence this signal is conjugate antisymmetric, and hence this signal can be classified as conjugate antisymmetric. Let us discuss another example. X of t is equal to t square e raised to j omega t. So x of minus t will be equal to minus t square e raised to j omega minus t. So x of minus t can be written as t square e raised to minus j omega t. So x of minus t will be t square x star conjugate. So when you take conjugate, minus j becomes plus j. So this will be e raised to j omega t. So as you can observe from equation 1 and 2, x of t is equal to x star of minus t, and hence this can be classified as conjugate symmetric, and hence this can be classified as conjugate symmetric. In this way, you can classify whether a signal is conjugate symmetric or conjugate antisymmetric. If you get a question where this condition is not satisfied and this condition is also not satisfied, then you can say that the signal is neither conjugate symmetric nor conjugate.